Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here, and welcome to the brand new Q&A series where I answer all the questions I've gotten from you guys. And the first question is, have you seen the Garbage Pail Kids movie, and what did you think about it? Well, I have seen the Garbage Pail Kids movie. I thought it was pretty weird. I don't remember really liking it too much, but I thought it was okay, though. But it was a weird 80s kind of film. It's one of those ones a lot of people didn't like, and it's not great. It's definitely worth watching, though, just if you want to see something weird. Which film did you like better, the Peanut Butter Solution or the Willies? I mean, as much as I really liked the Willies, I think I would have to say that I liked the Peanut Butter Solution a bit better because I don't know, it's just always been something I really liked. And it was one of those movies, too, where as a kid, I saw it, I rented it at Blockbuster, or I might have seen it on Nick, one of those two. And I remember it was one of those things that was lost for a while. I couldn't remember what the name of it was. And then I was at a Blockbuster, I think in like maybe 2002 or something. Maybe something around then when they were starting to sell off all the VHSs when DVD was really taking over to the point where VHS was getting taken out of the stores. And I saw it was for sale, and that's how I found it. Again, after seeing it probably 10 years before, something like that. Maybe about 10 years, something like that. Maybe, yeah, and I really like that one. The Willies, though, is really good as well. Hopefully at some point they put out a better version of the Willies, like a widescreen one, like a commentary and stuff. Who knows if they ever will. And do you have any Alf Pogs in your Pog collection as a kid? I don't think I do. Because I don't know if Pogs were ever out before then, but I think Pogs were like 92 or so, something around then. And Alf wasn't really big at that point. I remember there was a lot of like Beavis and Butthead. And I remember getting those Pogs at MG Designs, if anybody remembers that place. It was basically like a Michael's or like one of those early craft stores. What would you do for a Klondike bar? I don't think that'd be something like, I don't know. I don't know. Favorite band? I don't know. I like a lot of, and I've always been this way. I always like a lot of scores, like movie scores and things like that. But bands, I really like Ween. And then like, just like a lot of 80s bands. It's just so many 80s bands. Like a certain, not the stereotypical ones that you hear all the time. Some of those songs you get sick of hearing. I mean kind of the weird or obscure stuff that they don't play very often. Favorite color is red. Where do you see yourself in a few years? I mean, pretty much what I'm doing now is just doing the films, and then if YouTube is still around at that point, I mean, I don't think it's going anywhere. I mean, at least I don't see how it could unless there is some major, who knows what would happen. But I would see myself still doing the movies. Probably by then I would hope to have done a couple more bigger movies. And I've been doing a lot of bigger things lately, which is pretty good. But that's what I'd like to say. Can you give a shout out to my sister, Jennifer? Well, hello, Jennifer. What is the craziest thing you ever did as a kid and have been in trouble with the cops? I'm trying to think what the craziest. I don't remember really doing anything crazy as a kid. The one thing I always tell it was kind of stupid as a kid was when we were at Ocean City. It was outside of one of those places where you have to grill your own meats. And I don't know, it was in Ocean City. It was like you have to take the meat and grill it on the thing. And I remember it was a big to-do about is it cooked yet and stuff. But I remember there was this guy blowing bubbles with this huge, one of those big bubble string things. And he's like going like this. And like all these people were watching. He was these gigantic bubbles. And I was standing there watching. He was kind of on the hill. It was like a hill going down, and at the bottom of the hill were cars, like in the parking area. And I was standing on that hill watching the guy. And the ground was totally covered in the bubble stuff. So I end up slipping down the hill. And then I kept on trying to climb up the hill and falling down the hill and sliding down the hill with a whole group of people watching. I don't know. That was one thing I always remember. I think there was one other time, it was kind of a weird thing we did. I'm trying to think, like, I know there's one time there's this clown at a party, and me and, Ethan, Dweebo, were screwing around with him. And I don't remember exactly what we were doing, but we were saying all this weird stuff. I guess another crazy thing we did was, I don't know if people remember in the malls, they used to have those, like, talking those bears. Like during Christmas time, they would have those things that were. It was like a bear, and then there's somebody was inside of it, and it would talk, and you talk to it. The bear would, if you walked by, and he would go, "Oh, hello, what would you like for Christmas?" and all this stuff. And me and Ethan would go by and like say all this weird stuff, and then we'd go back like 6 times and act like we were different people every time. And have you ever been in trouble with the cops? Um, Not really. I remember one time as a kid, a lot of things were as a kid, like weird stuff. But I had those like things you pull that would like shoot out confetti. And I was at the park by myself in like probably the second or third grade, popping the things off. And I was to my, way all the way to myself, and there was nobody really around. And I think there was one woman who was jogging around outside. It was up on the like the field, and she was down the bottom jogging around, and then she called the police on me because she thought that I was shooting off fireworks at her. So then the cop came by and was like, "You shooting off fireworks out here?" And I was real freaked out. And I think he asked my name, and I think I said some other name, and I think I said I lived somewhere else. I don't know what I was thinking, because I'm thinking if he was going to take me in, he would let me off at somebody else's house. But it was, and I showed him what it was, and he's like, "Oh, that's all right." But the woman was being real weird. What do you want on your gravestone to say? Man, I don't want to think about things like that, but I don't know. Do you and Brendan lather each other up with olive oil and let Gabe get in the middle? Well, we haven't done that yet. No, we don't do that. Um, did you ever see Predators? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I did see Predators. It didn't stand out to me as anything that I really liked a lot. I thought it was okay. I liked Danny Trejo in it. He wasn't in very much of it, but it wasn't anything that I really loved. Do you plan on making any more Donna Murphy videos in the future? Well, the problem was MJ did not really like. I don't know what happened. He didn't like wearing the wig, so it was kind of awkward. See, when he had his long hair, because he used to have long hair, it was really easy to do them because all we did was you just put on glasses and that shirt, and we just film it. But we couldn't, after he cut it, we had to put him in the wig, and then he didn't like the wig too much. Um, I mean, maybe at some point we'll put together some kind of movie, but I don't know. I really don't know. And even though we said that one is the end, it was so rushed together, and not because I wanted to rush. It was just because it was just not going well. What is your favorite horror movie? I don't know. I usually say Return of the Living Dead. That's also on sale now. I saw it Best Buy on Blu-ray for $8 now. How much money do you make off YouTube? Well, you're not supposed to talk about that stuff. Have you seen Brendan DiCamello's film Cattle Bag? I've heard him talk about it. I've never seen that, though. What would you like your last meal to be before a death sentence? I think I've said this joke before, but I'd say like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and you'd be like, "I'm not done yet," and try and stay, keep from being killed off, as long as you can by going to the all-you-can-eat buffet. I really want to hang out with you and help me develop a pilot for a TV show. What would I need to do? Well, I'm real careful with who I hang out with because I've had some problems in the past. So I mean, I don't know, like. If you have like stuff that you can show me that you've done or something. I know you like zombie movies a lot. Have you ever seen Zombies of Mass Destruction? I don't know if I have or not of that. I've heard the title though. What's your favorite horror movie? Like I said, Return of the Living Dead. What's your favorite color? I said that red. Have you seen Scream 4? Yeah, I have. I like that. Didn't think it was amazing, but I did like it. Your favorite food? It's pretty much Mexican food. Are you homophobic? Not at the slightest bit. Like, I'm totally for, all that kind of stuff. Gay marriage, all that stuff. I have no problems with that. I have a lot of friends that are gay. That's like one of those things that I'm, like, if people, that I talk to say something like that or say something against someone that's gay, I won't work with them. And it's happened a couple times with people, I'm not going to talk about who, but if they say those kind of comments, I don't talk to them anymore. How long have you been friends with MJ? Pretty much since the 6th grade. I mean, the first year we were kind of I always feel like we were acquaintances. We weren't really like that good of friends at first. More like the seventh graders when we became way better friends. Wrestling match between you and MJ. Who would win? I don't know. Did you have a fun time doing Banshee? I mean, that was the first thing that I ever did, and it wasn't as fun as it should have been because because of I didn't plan things out right because me and MJ both worked the night before, so we only ended up sleeping maybe 45 minutes. So, and that's the worst thing when you're trying to do something. You're trying to do a good job. When you get no sleep, it makes it really difficult. And we didn't get really any sleep when we did it. Um, it was also filmed a little different than other movies because since it was the first thing too, it was also filmed like a vlog, so it didn't really feel like a movie as much as when we went to do Sasquatch. But the biggest movie has been lately like the Girls Gone Dead thing and stuff, a real movie experience because it's huge crews, and same with that and the Critic. Like stuff lately has been way more, you know, an experience that I really enjoyed. But I like Sasquatch Assault. I mean, hopefully at some point I'll work with Synthetic Cinema again. Do you still live with your parents? And asking this to be a dick. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm out in San Diego. We all moved out here. And it's pretty expensive if I lived on my own. Do you watch Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2? If so, did you like them? I liked the first one. I didn't care for the second one too much. Do you you listen to the Ricky Gervais show? Um, I think that's the animated one. I think it's okay. I don't love that show. I mean, I've only looked at it a little bit, but I have watched the stuff he's produced, like that Idiot Abroad that I really liked. I really liked Ricky Gervais and Extras. I really love that show. Do you have a gaming system? I have PS3, but I mainly use it for Blu-rays, and I have the Wii. Has anyone ever kicked you in the balls real hard? Have you ever kicked anyone in the balls real hard? I've never kicked anyone in the balls. I think that one friend of mine, Doug, kicked me in the nuts once in like elementary school. It wasn't fun. It was the same time we were watching like Joe Bob Briggs. I used to always go over to his house and watch Joe Bob Briggs' Monster Vision and spend the night and watch that and stay up all night watching those things. So I was always into horror things forever. Which do you prefer, comedic acting or dramatic acting? Um, well, truthfully, I mean, comedy is much easier to do, I think. A lot of people say it's. I mean, I guess because to me, it's easier. I don't get nervous doing it. With dramatic, I really, if it's like a real serious, like if it's a dramatic thing, I really try and get into the thing, get into the character. And people are like, "Is everything all right? You look upset." It's like if I'm supposed to be upset, I'm like upset the whole time doing it because I want it to be right. Also, what do you think of the After Dark Horror Fest movie Husk? I haven't gotten to watch that thing yet. Everyone's been saying that it's good though. Any advice for rookie actors in the business? I mean, I would say the best thing to do is just, in the beginning, which is the same way it was with me, you're going to have to do some things where you have to get yourself there. Well, Sasquatch and Banshee weren't like that. But, I didn't have to pay to do it, get there or anything. But some of the early stuff, you're fine. You have to pay yourself to get there. You have to, you're not going to get paid really. And don't think, go into it acting like you're bigger than you are. And, you have to build up and up and up and up. And, and if you go with it and it'll work out if you can go through that. You know what I mean? But also, I'd say, do your own stuff. Shoot some stuff for the internet. Shoot videos of you acting. Shoot, acting examples. And have lots of content with you for people to see. Like with me, that's what I do is I just send directors and stuff the stuff that I've done and the IMBD link and all that stuff. And, that's the way I say. But answer my question first. Not sure what that was talking about. Hey, did you watch Alien 2 on Earth yet? It was recently distributed on DVD and Blu-ray by Mid Legacy. So, yell at us when you've checked it out. No, I mean, I've seen I'm not sure if you made that movie or not, the way because you phrased that, but I've seen the cover to it, and I've wondered what it is, and I'm like, because it says two, I'm thinking, is there a first one of this? Um, I am interested in seeing it though. Yo, dude, you should do your favorite horror films. Dude, you rock. Can you do that? I have done some on my favorite horror films before, though. I think favorite 80s. I do need to do more of that, though. Why did you sound so freaked out if there's a crowd or if you're surrounded by cars? Just an observation. Do you watch the show Dexter? I did watch it in the beginning. I've totally lost, not interest, sort of just gotten behind with it. Sons of Anarchy or The Killing, I haven't seen any of them. I don't really like being in really crazy places. Like, it's like when I go to conventions or really busy places, never really been my thing to be on like a huge crowd. I don't know why. I've always just been not my favorite thing. Yeah, that's pretty much what I would say to that. I don't really care if there's cars as much, though. What do you think? What do you look for in a girlfriend? I mean, just nice people, not people that are, full of themselves, and not kind of people too that like to talk about like, stupid weird stuff all the time. I mean, some people are like, oh, Sean, you talk about stupid weird stuff. I know, but I mean like stuff that kind of the rude, weird stuff, and like talking bad about people all the time, and that kind of thing. What are some of your favorite movie soundtracks? Movie soundtracks. I mean, like some of the ones like that Danny Elfman did, and there's just been so many different ones. Like I can't say for sure which ones. Have you ever been in love? I said that Mr. Brick style, a couple times. A lot of times though, the other people are already with somebody, or I don't know that till later. What are some of your favorite independent movies? Now that would take forever to list. What do you love about the 80s and 90s, and what do you hate about them? I think for 80s, it's just I really like the music of that time. I thought it was more positive. As much as people go on about Lady Gaga, though, and like some people like her and some people don't, I've listened to some of that stuff, and if you listen to like the chorus and stuff, it's definitely got a very 80s Madonna thing. You can tell she's going for a older school style to her stuff. But I like, just like the type of music back then, more positive. As for 80s, and even 80s and 90s movies, mainly comedies, were way, I don't know, especially 80s was really good time for comedies. What John Hughes was doing, what everybody was doing back then in the 80s, real different and not as raunchy. I like raunchy sometimes, but I don't know, it's just they made really good movies then. And I think, for the 90s, I don't know. It's just like the looks and stuff. I think it's too just growing up then. I'm not as crazy like I used to be about like 80s and all that stuff. I'm trying to get with it a little bit. What are your thoughts on abortion? I mean, I think it's the choice of whoever wants to get it. I don't approve though of people that are like going crazy about it and like killing abortion doctors and all that kind of stuff though. I don't like that. What are your favorite movie vids? How about more of the favorite movie vids? Okay, that's something I do want to do at some point. What do you think about the Neutron compared to the old one? I did not watch the new one. I don't know. I will at some point. If they offered you a role in 28 Months Later, would you take it, yes or no? I definitely would take that. I don't think they would, though, because it's a British cast. Does he, who shall not be named, really pick his anus and sniff his fingers? I'm not going to talk about MJ anymore. Oh, oops. But I'm not going to talk about him like that anymore. How much better, well, let's just say, here's what I'll say. In some of the videos, you see this. How much better do you think picture quality of Blu-ray is over DVDs? Well, it really depends, too, on the TV you have. Like, if you don't have a full HD TV, 1080p, you're not going to see as much of a difference. I mean, 720p. I've looked at TVs with that. It looks okay. I mean, it definitely looks better. Sharper and more vibrant colors. But if you really want to see the full quality difference, you need to have a 1080p TV, because a lot of people that's like say there's no difference, you know. And I don't know if you wear glasses or something, if maybe you wouldn't see it differently. I don't know. I know it's probably a stupid question. But like if you have eye problems, or like you may not see it as much. Like if you have kind of blurriness to your eyes or something. But I don't know. I think it's better. I think it's definitely, especially now, because especially with what Best Buy seems to be doing, and hopefully this is something that they're going to keep doing. The Blu-rays now are like $2 more than DVD. So I think they're really trying to make Blu-ray win out. I see you're on IMDb, you're venturing outside of the horror genre. There's a drama and biopic work on Charles Manson. How's that shift going? And any comedies at sight? Yeah, with one person, I'm talking about a comedy. I have to talk to him about all of that. I don't think I should say anything about it yet. Yeah, the Charles Manson movie, though, that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm gonna be the boss that fires Manson at one point. I'm not sure when that's filming. It's a British production crew. It's pretty cool, though, the cast they have in that. And they're also working on a House on the Edge of the Park 2, which I'm really excited to see that. Yeah, and the drama is The Critic movie, and that's been a really exciting movie, because to get to work with people that I've followed for years, like Richard Riley from Office Space, and James Duvall from Donnie Darko, and Noah Hathaway from Neverending Story. So it's been really cool. Do you like the painting I did for you? I did like that. How much? Here's my question: how much do you get paid per movie? The thing with that is it all depends. Depends on the budget. It depends on lots of things. And then sometimes you can cut a certain deal with it. Like the main thing with me is I won't do a movie if they can't get the travel covered. I won't even start talking about anything else until that. When did you first discover Biodome? What grades did you get in school? Or have to go for one at a time. I think I just saw Biodome, I'm pretty sure, just when it came out. I'm pretty sure I just saw it. Let me see how long this part is. So for 22 minutes, I think I just saw it right when it first came out at like Blockbuster, I think. And I always was a fan of Pauly Shore. I know a lot of people, do not care too much for him, but I've always liked Pauly Shore, and kind of wish he would, get more work. I don't know. I like, he can be annoying sometimes, but I always liked him. What do you think of Clerks? I like Clerks. It's not something that I like to watch all the time, though. Can you do more commentaries for TV shows, episodes of full-length movies? I know people like those. I have to figure out what would be a really, really good one to do. I know some annoyingly bad. Someone said, "Have you seen Shane Jensen naked?" Well, that's a really strange question to ask. No, I'm sorry, Shane. Someone asked that. Can you do some new favorite videos, like favorite horror horror, because what, like horror? Wait, can you do some new favorite vids, like favorite horrors, because maybe you like some other ones now? Yeah, I was thinking about it because the other one was 3 years old. Would you do a porn if you could choose the opposing actress? I'm sure Wonder Woman or some random whore from the Goonies or whoever would be a huge seller. I wouldn't do a porno movie. I mean, I've done, yes, I have done sex scenes in movies. Yes, the fat guy gets action in the movies. But I did in Girls Gone Dead, you see a sex scene. And you see a sex scene in Zombie Babies. And there may be something else, but I'm not sure. But yes, but I wouldn't do a porno. Did MJ's mom really call you? No, his mom told me to take it down. I told you I'm really just jumping over those. Very much looking forward to another Q&A video with insanely elaborate answers to insanely boring questions. Well, thank you. With genuinely interesting questions remaining unanswered. And yes, this will be great. So I'm trying to answer all the ones. Would you ever do a nude scene for a movie? Why would anybody want to see my peen? I mean, I'm sure somebody out here would, but I wouldn't jump at that. I mean, I've done shirtless. And I think I'm going to do a shirtless for Finger Bang, which is not a porno movie. It's a spoof comedy movie. Yes, everyone's going to see the moves and everything. But I don't think I would get fully nude unless it was a huge paying thing. I mean, the one nude thing that I thought was funny, I wouldn't do it, but I thought it was really funny, was in Observe and Report with that fat pervert running through the mall naked. That was the funniest nudity I think I've ever seen. What is your favorite era? 80s or 90s? Please explain why. Probably the 80s, and I know I was born in 85, so I didn't live all through it. But I like the things of that time, the movies and the music. Have you ever been to the Mall of America? I live near there, and from watching you around the towns, you would love it. Yeah, I've always wanted to go there, especially that show that I really missed. For some reason, I really liked it. And they took it off the air, Mall Cops. I think it was inspired after the success of Blart Mall Cop. And I liked it. I've always wanted to go to that mall. Hopefully at some point I'll get to go there. And it would be weird though to take a trip just to go to that mall. So it'd have to be like something else around there. It'd be kind of weird. I'm going to there just to go to this mall. Would you ever trade with somebody on here? Maybe. I've never really done a lot of that. What is your favorite 30s horror film? I think Freaks is from then. Are you going to film the dinosaur from Pee-wee's Big Adventure with MJ Kelly? We wanted to do that on the drive, but we didn't know where it was. Sean, do you think horror cinema will ever again be what it once was? Also, what are your thoughts on remakes? I'll go with the first one. I think, though, as much as there's a lot of crap nowadays, I think every so often a really good movie comes out. I don't think it will ever get back to the exact point, but I think lately there's been a lot of movies that are throwbacks to 70s and 80s movies that are done not silly, but done serious in tone. And I think that that is starting to happen. What are your thoughts on remakes of films, primarily horror films? And what do you think the main reason for the influx of horror film remakes of the last 10 years? The main reason is, because if they know the original one has an audience, they know that people are going to go out and see it to begin with. Those people, as much as they might complain about it, they're going to see it to see what they did with it. And teenagers and stuff like that are all going to see it because they don't know it's a remake, and they're going to see it just because they think it's a new movie or something. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a remake movie where people are sitting there going, "This is a remake? I didn't know it was a remake." And I mean, I hear that all the time. How much do you weigh and what deodorant do you use? Well, I don't talk about the weight, but I use Brute. Are you a Harry Potter fan? I watch the movies. I don't go after them and buy them or anything like that. Have you seen the 80s movie Troop Beverly Hills? I think I watched that once or twice. I think I liked it. You plan on cutting your hair at all? I think it would look good. At some point, right now I'm supposed to keep my hair longer, and I've thought, about doing something drastic with my hair, but I don't know. It's like a look, and people know it. I don't know, so I'm not really sure. What's your opinion on the Nightmare on Elm Street television series? It's weird. I taped them all off of the Chiller channel, then didn't watch them for some reason. I wasn't as interested as I thought to actually watch them. I think because a lot of people said they weren't good. Have you seen Fast 5? If so, what do you think of it? What are your favorite Fast and Furious movies? Please answer. I want to know your opinion on these movies. See, I've never watched any of those movies, so I don't even know if they're good in any way or not. So I can't say anything, so I haven't seen any of them. Hey, Sean, I know you're a horror movie fan like me. So wondering, what are your feelings on when it comes to extreme movies? In one of your reviews, you mentioned the Vomit Dolls trilogy that the director sent you. I didn't see what good so-called movies bring to this world. And the director seems like a genuinely disturbed, sick bastard from the interviews I watched. I watched the first Vomit Dolls movie, and to me, it's just vile. Disgusting shit. What are your thoughts? Where should the line be drawn? There are people out there that like that kind of stuff. I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like watching extreme violent films to women. I don't like that. I don't like Martyrs was one of the ones that was really difficult for me to watch. I don't want to see that kind of thing. So it's not really my thing. But I guess there are some people that want to watch people being thrown up on. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Because it's a fetish to those people. And, you know what I mean? So it's just not my vibe, my thing. What was the first movie you acted in? The first one was the Banshee movie, and they saw one of my DVD updates, which was like one of the, I think my favorite cartoon movies got posted on one of the some kind of cartoon website. And because of that, they found it. So it was just kind of like luck, because I kind of think that if I didn't do that movie, I wouldn't have gotten on the track of doing everything I've done now. That's why I said to Andrew Gernhardt from Synthetic Cinema that I owe everything to him for getting my life on track. And I know it's a very weird thing to say, but it was kind of like for a while, I know this is really weird to say, but from about before 2008, I didn't have my shit together at all in any way. And I feel like I don't know, it's weird to talk about that, but what's your biggest goal as an actor? Well, my biggest goal is to be a character actor. I'm not going after to be a big lead. I mean, character actors sometimes do bigger parts and things, and I'd love to do that as well. But I loved, like I said, Richard Riley and people like that are character actors, and come in for 2 or 3 scenes and stuff. I like that. To me, that's really cool. You get to work with a lot of people, and it's up to you to make the scene stand out. It's also up to you to not make it be too over the top. You just have to mesh with everything. So that's what I would say. Which is better, Puppet Master or Chucky? Let me just make sure this is still recording. I'm probably going to go to about 45 minutes just to make these, so people get more of their interest done. Which is better, Puppet Master or Chucky? I think Chucky I prefer. What comic book movie are you looking forward to the most this summer? I don't read a lot of comic books, so I'm not sure what the comic book movies this summer are. Would you ever act in movies for free, even if they were shooting out of your area? Well, I consider it, but not as much anymore. It just depends. It's got to be very special. It's got to be something that I really want to do. They would have to cover the travel and stuff though, because when you have to start using money, then it's not good. What are your top 5 favorite TV shows? I think of what I watched recently. I watch a lot of stuff like Pawn Stars, Storage Wars, something that I want, American Pickers, all those kind of shows. I really like them lately, and I don't know why. I kind of like that stuff. I always, as a kid, was around like antiques and stuff. I always liked that kind of stuff. So I watched that a lot lately. Your favorite romance film? What is the romance films I've seen lately? That I can't even think of at the moment. What are your thoughts on violent animal scenes in Cannibal Holocaust? Well, I don't like that kind of stuff, but I always kind of say, well, if you were out in the jungle, and there was no food, you'd have to eat whatever you could get. I don't agree with the fact that they had to actually use real animals and stuff. I thought they could have, used fake stuff, though. If you could direct and cast a movie with any budget, what actors would you pick? Well, if I was doing like a horror movie and stuff, I'd pick everybody that I really liked. All the character actors and all the actors that I've always loved. Weird people too, like Clint Howard, and I like Ken Free. I've met him at many conventions and became, talked to him like for a long time. People like that, Sid Haig, Bill Moseley. I mean, people that I really like in this field. I would put Tiffany Shepis and stuff like that. And then all my friend actors and stuff too. If you could, yeah. Have you ever considered writing or directing your own feature-length film recently? If so, what would it be about? Well, at some point, I'm working on turning the Lust for Blood movie into a feature. There is a script. Someone wants to make it. And, it's kind of just when I can do it. And when I can figure out how to get everybody cast for it. But but directing isn't something that I want to go into. I mean, I want to do a couple little things, a couple little films, but it's not what I love doing as much. Do you believe in Jesus? I mean, I think that there's something, but I don't know. That's one thing I don't like to talk too much about because, you can upset people like that, so it's best to not really talk about it. UFC fight, you versus MJ Kelly. I don't know. I'm sure MJ would say he would win, and I'd probably guess I'd say I'd win. Favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie? Um, Probably, I know it's the one everyone would say, but Psycho really was a good movie. Also, Lifeboat was a really good movie, and Rope was really good. Favorite bands? I talked about that. What's the name of the video? About U2. Um, I don't know. I was born in Silver Springs, Maryland. Have you heard of it? I have heard of that. I was wondering how you got into movies yourself, and what do you do to continue to get roles? I guess I mean by myself. Besides, well, even when I was doing the stuff with MJ, you know, I was just figuring it out myself, and then bringing MJ into it. But then when he said he didn't want to do horror movies anymore, but a lot of networking and talking directors online, and then meeting people at conventions, and then people coming to me from seeing things. It's just a lot of little things that have done it. It's gotten to the point now though where I'm like picking the roles. It's kind of interesting. There's just so many different things I sort of weigh out if it's worth it and stuff lately. I saw a movie on TV. I saw a movie on TV when I was about 10. I wasn't meant to be watching it, but I did anyway. It's about soldiers invading a town in Africa. I'm not sure much about it. At one point, one of the soldiers was shooting a guy's leg off, and he kept calling a woman nearby a bitch. I was told that it was Hotel Rwanda, but that could have been on TV at the time, so before it was released. Any ideas what it is? I don't know. I mean, it sounds simple, something like I've heard it. I don't know what it is though. Was your most sought after DVD? What was the most money you spent on a DVD or Blu-ray? I don't think I ever bought a DVD or Blu-ray that I really, really spent a lot of money on. The ones that I would have if I didn't get them was the Are Freddy the Dark ones, because those sell for extreme amounts of money online. I think at some point they're going to get released in America. I'm thinking at some point there's going to be a deal, and Shout Factory will put them out. I don't know what my most sought after one would be though. Do you watch porn? Well, I mean, I think everybody watches porn pretty much. At one time or another. Come to the Calgary Expo. Canada-related Comic-Con. Sean C. Phillips plus William Shatner equals win. That would be kind of interesting. When are you going to check your P.O. box next? I don't know. I mean, probably soon. My question is, 38 minutes. What does Herb do for a living? I said he's a teacher. Will you ever do an anthology horror movies review? Maybe at some point. Will you ever do a best worst Blu-ray transfers review? Probably. I haven't really noticed. I don't take notice about that as much though. Will you ever offer Herb President T-shirts? That's one thing I should at some point do, because everyone asks if I have T-shirts of things, like a coolduder T-shirt. I wanted to do one with me holding a DVD or something. I've got to do some of that stuff. Will you ever track down and systematically eliminate all the YouTube trolls who follow you? See, most of those people do it to try and get attention, and if you notice it and you let it get to you, then they win. So I kind of just stay out of it. What's your favorite Corey Haim film that Corey Haim starred in, and what did you like about the movie? Just curious. I saw Firstborn, and it was one of his first movie roles, and he was really great in that one. I mean, I like the stuff he did with Corey Feldman a lot. Those were some of his best ones. I like that one. It was bad. It was a bad, cheesy movie, but I liked just one of the girls with him dressing in drag. I can't remember exactly why he was dressing in drag. I think he was hiding from the bully or something. Said he was going to kill him or something. But that's a good, worth watching one. What do you think of the Nostalgia Critic? I think I like that guy. I think there was one guy I didn't like that that it was like saying bad stuff about Woodchip Massacre and a bunch of things I liked. What are your thoughts on the movie Dolls from 1987? What is the worst dinner experience of your life? Well, the worst dinner experience, I'll go to that first, was, I don't know if it was a lunch or dinner, but when we got forced, for some reason in the 6th grade, it was at Dunbar, and they forced everybody to go on this field trip. It was like Thursday we went to a museum or something, and Friday we went to a place called the Hacienda. It was this real authentic Mexican place down in the middle of like a real bad neighborhood, I remember. It was right across the street. There was a lot of homeless, and right across the street was the Apex Adult Porn Cinema. And they forced us to go to this place, and they had this spread of food, and it was the grossest Mexican food I'd ever seen. And I like Mexican food, but it was like weird stuff, like stuffed tamales and all this stuff. And the principal was like, "You're encouraged, and we must see you take one of everything." So you had to take, and they wanted you to taste everything. For some reason, we weren't writing papers on it. There was nothing going on. For some reason, they wanted us to taste everything, and it was terrible. MJ went the day before and got food poisoning from it. I couldn't stand the stuff. It was so spicy. I was spitting it out behind the chair. And I remember they had pitchers of Pepsi or Coke or one of them, and I think I drank like 4 of them because the food was so spicy. I was awful. The movie Dolls, though, I have a story with that. I got the VHS of that from Hollywood Video years back, and something was wrong with the tape. I put it in my VCR. It broke it. Like, it wouldn't play. And I didn't realize at that point it broke it. I put it in my brother's, and it wouldn't play. And then later on, like the same night or something, we tried to use the VCR. It fucked up and ruined both the VCRs. So it's almost like this cursed movie. When I think of it, I think of how it ruined 2 of the VCRs. And this is back when VCRs were expensive and DVD was not out yet. So it was not a good thing. If you were a buddy comedy with one other guy, what comedic actor would you choose? That's a tough one. Like, I don't know. I don't know. If it was a buddy comedy, it would probably too have to be around the same age as me. So I'm not sure. I mean, maybe, if we're supposed to be 2 fat guys, like, the Gordy Belcher guy or something. Michael Bauer. It's like somebody like cool like that. Have you watched Bob's Burgers? If so, what do you think of it? I've not watched that show. What do you think is the best? What in your opinion, are the best, most underrated, and most overrated Disney movies? I'm not sure about underrated. But I know, like, some of the Disney ones, like Little Nemo, Finding Nemo, stuff get talked about so much. And then some of the other ones don't get talked about as much, and I like them a little more. Like WALL-E doesn't get discussed as much as the Nemo one. What are your political views? I have no views on that. What is your religion? I don't really have a view on that. And how much money to make per year? I don't even know. If you decided to do a remake of The Breakfast Club, who do you think would be good teen actors to fill the roles? They would probably get Emma Watson, I guess is her name, or Emma. The one from Scream, who was the main girl in Scream. She was also on, I think, Aquamarine and that Nick show. I'm trying to think of who else I would put in that. I don't know. I don't know a lot of who the teen actors are right now to fill the roles. How many MJ Donnymurph, including this one, questions have you answered so far? A serious question? Are you into screenwriting? A serious project with a real script? If so, how often do you write? Yeah, there's been a couple MJ ones. I'm not really into writing too much. What movie are you planning to be in next, and how can I participate, act in that movie? The next one is in a couple days. It's the Finger Bang movie. And then when we shoot, I'm not sure exactly when I shoot, but the Flesh Eaters movie. And there's some other things up in the air. I don't know. That's a weird question. I'm not sure. because I don't really have control over casting and stuff. What is your favorite horror movie? As I said, Return of the Living Dead. I think this should probably be all for this because it's already 44 minutes now. But anyway, though, thanks a lot for watching, and I'm going to save the questions from where I am now. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in part 2 in a couple days.